Hey everyone! Hey, I'm gonna give this just a couple of seconds since there's always a little bit of a delay, but I got some cool stuff for you today. I made notes again and everything because I want to make sure that I covered the cool stuff in this cool magic formula. So hi there, good to see you. This is Christine Dunn, and I help business owners optimize their businesses so they can make more money. And I really do this by like simplifying their business because like who needs all that extra, right? And so today I'm going to be covering this magic formula for sales. Before I get started, if this is something you'd like some help with, is how to optimize, how to add this into your business, and how to figure out where you are in this. Because as I share with you, you might see some places where you might have a little confusion about where you're at in it and what you could be doing right now to bring in more sales. So if you'd like to talk about that, go to sidekickkhristine.com. You can schedule a call with me and we can chat and I can help you simplify and start making more money right now, start increasing your sales. So this session today is it's about the magic formula for making more sales. And this is just like a simple 3-step process of how you build the foundation of your business. And almost everyone seems to get it wrong or misses a step because it's really easy to do that. And I'll share with you about how it's so easy to do that. But this is a place where, if you're feeling uncertainty in your business, if you're feeling frustrated or overwhelmed or feeling like you're on that financial roller coaster, feeling like you're working harder but you're not getting any further ahead, you're worried that there might be a major breakdown in your sales systems, you're worried about you're heading towards a major breakdown, you can't figure some stuff out, you're maybe scratching your head, I bet you that this is one of your problems, or this may be the biggest problem right now that you might be facing, and it's actually pretty simple challenge to fix. So there are really 3 steps to making more sales. The magic formula for building your business is just really 3 steps, and the first step is to stabilize what you're doing. So when you start out in your business, you want to stabilize. You want to get a system that's working really well, a really simple system, and stabilize that. And then you want to optimize that system. So start adding more to that system and really optimizing how you're doing that sales process. Maybe putting in some more levers, some more ways that you're catching people if they don't, sign up for something, you're following up with them in another way, you're having a different email series in there. If they don't immediately buy, you have an email series for that. So you're starting to optimize that process that you've stabilized. So, the first step is starting out and stabilizing a process, getting that process working really, really well. That's before you jump in selling a new product or starting a new process or creating more funnels or optimizing. You want to get that basic process working really well and then starting to optimize that process and building on top of that process and adding to that funnel different ways, different levers that you're pulling to bring more people in and get more sales. And then once you optimize that, then you go into expansion. Then you go into expansion where you're adding more products on, where you're adding more offers in, where you're making your business more complex. But what often happens for a lot of entrepreneurs is they never actually get that first step of stabilizing. They get something that starts to work well, and then they get sidetracked. And then they go into expansion mode, totally skipping over the stabilize and optimization. And then they get themselves into trouble because there isn't stability in the business and there's not something to build on and optimize. What you want to do is create that stability first. Something's working really, really well. And don't worry where you're at in your business. You can go back and fix some of these foundational pieces. And I'll share a story with you in just a minute about that. You can go back and you can stabilize some of your main first offers, stabilize and create that foundation, and then start optimizing on that, and then, start more intentionally expanding. So you don't have to just throw everything out. You can go back and fix some of this, but that's really what needs to happen first, because if you're on that roller coaster, if you're feeling like, you're feeling that frustration or overwhelm, if you're feeling that uncertainty about how sales are coming in, that's because you don't have that stability on your one main system. And once you have that stability on that main system, you're not going to feel like you're on this roller coaster. And you're not going to feel like you're hitting the ceiling, because you're going to have something stable, which will be a ceiling because you're going to be stable. But then you build the optimization, and then you break through that ceiling. You're starting to build your income. You're optimizing on that, building your income. And then once you have that stable, you've optimized it, created a new level of stability, then you can start expanding. And whoa, what happens there? Your income level goes up, more sales, and you can keep doing that. Once you stabilize you expand and then you stabilize that, you start to optimize that, and then you can expand that, and your income can just keep going up. You can keep growing your sales that way. But it really starts out with that stability in the first place. So I just, real quick before I share my story, if this is something you'd like me to take a deep dive look at your business and places where you could be doing this stabilizing and this optimizing, go schedule a call with me at sidekickristine.com, and we'll spend a while going through your business. I'll do a deep dive, and we'll see where that is for you, and we'll see what we can do with your business. So go over to sidekickristine.com and schedule a call with me. So now I want to share a quick little story about a client that I was working with who jumped over all this and went into expansion mode. And so, normally what people do is, or what you ideally want to be doing in your business is you want to be building one or two good, I should say two or three really good lead ways that leads are coming into your business. So whether that's Facebook ads, you going out and networking, you doing direct response, you doing some other sort of advertising, whatever that is, you want a couple lead sources that are working really well for you, and you want this first process that you have stabilized. And then you start to optimize that process. Maybe then you add on a couple lead sources and you start building from there. Well, this is super common. I had a client who jumped over all that and they just started building all these different lead sources, but they didn't actually have a process in place. So they were building like a podcast, and they were building a huge Facebook group and a following on this other network, and doing like YouTubing and this and doing all this stuff, but not actually making an opt-in offer to anyone, not actually building their list, not actually utilizing all those lead sources. So they were going into this huge expansion mode, and they were wondering why they weren't getting any of the money coming in. They were wondering why they didn't feel like they were getting ahead, and were feeling incredibly frustrated with their business. Wanted to close their business because the leads weren't coming in. But there was like no way for leads to really come in consistently because the lead offer wasn't being made, and also there wasn't some good opt-ins there. There wasn't a good sales system there at all, a good process there at all to even stabilize or optimize. So that's what we're working on building right now, is creating that stability, and then we're going to start optimizing it. And once we start doing that, this is just like mechanical almost. Once you start creating these processes, these are known things that you do in marketing. So there's not a lot of guesswork in it. It's like, okay, you stabilize, you create this sort of process, and there's only a few different processes that businesses use, and maybe I'll cover those in another Facebook Live, but there's only a few different sales processes, a few different levers you can add in the optimizer sales process, few different ways you can optimize things, and then your expansion mode beyond that. So, there's ways that you can do that if you're doing like, coaching, consulting, something like that, or some sort of service where people are booking a call with you. There's a certain way to do that, a certain way to do it with webinars, a certain way to do it, Facebook ads, things like that. There's a certain way to do the sales process. So if you're seeing where you maybe are thinking like, oh my gosh, I didn't stabilize mine. Oh my gosh, I don't really have mine that optimized. Oh my gosh, it starts expanding quicker. It's totally cool. Like almost no one gets this right. It's totally fine. But right now is the time to go back and create that stability and that optimization, so you can start leveraging that expansion that you've already done. So you don't have to get rid of all that expansion you did, but you do need to go back and create more of the stability and start optimizing that, and then the expansion that you already have in place. If then we start moving into that, that's going to really it's going to really have a massive effect on your sales and a massive effect on your business. So, I hope this was super helpful to you. And if you do want me to take a look at your business, just go to sidekickristine.com, and I can help you figure out where you should be stabilizing, optimizing, and expanding right now in your business, so that you don't have that fluctuation going on, so that you have those consistent sales, and so that you have a business that is really, really consistent and much simpler. Because these processes, once you have them in place and you have that stability and you start to optimize, you're going to find you're working a lot less, which is going to be awesome. And your business is going to be a lot simpler, and it's going to be a lot easier to keep going. and it's going to be a lot more fun because you're going to be seeing the sales. You're not going to be feeling so burnt out, so frustrated, or uncertain about where things are going to come in. So definitely, if that's something you'd like, go and schedule a call with me at sidekickristine.com, and I'd be happy to walk you through it and see what we can do in your business. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this is super helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.